Suhaiza Hanim, Dr. Mohamad Zailani, inaugural lecturer today. My name is RLD Shahrial. Before we start, I would like to share some housekeeping rules. First, keep your phone in silent mode. And second, stay back for photography session after this event. Thank you. the Faculty of Business and Economics, Muslim Malaya, Professor Yusniza Kamuruzaman. Accompanied by the Honorable Datin Sri Professor Suhaiza Hanim, Professor of Supply Chains, Faculty of Business and Economics, Muslim Malaya. Thank you. I would like to invite all audience to stand up for us to listen to the national anthems and UM song. Thank you. The audience is invited to be seated. Thank you. Before we begin the lecture, I would like to invite Dr. Mohamad Farooq Abdullah to lead the dua.
Assalamu alaikum and good morning. Let us recite Al-Fatiha. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين آمين اللهم آمين يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك وعظيم سلطانك وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحابه أجمعين. O Allah, the Almighty, the most beneficent, the most merciful, we ask you for the goodness of this gathering, and we begin it with your mercy. Make this session blessed, grant its benefit to humanity, and make it a means for the betterment of mankind. O Allah, fill our hearts with true knowledge, wisdom, understanding, and enlightenment. Make us among those who listen to good advice and follow the best of it. Surely you have the ability to do all. O Allah, the Almighty, we seek refuge in you from the kind of knowledge which doesn't give any benefit, from the heart which is not clean from hatred and jealousy, from the soul which does not become satisfied, and from the prayer which is not accepted. O Almighty, things are not easy except what you have made easy for us. Make it easy for the speaker to deliver the speech. Grant her true understanding, and make her words a source of light and guidance for the audience. O Almighty, make the knowledge achieved through this event beneficial for this country and for all humanity. Make us a means for creating a balanced and safe ecosystem, and make the world a safe place for the future generations. O Almighty, reward the organizing committee of this event for their efforts, the speakers, the participants for their contribution. Shower your blessings upon this institution, the lecturers, the students, and all the past and present employees and who have contributed to this institution. اللهم اجعل جمعنا هذا جمعا مرحوما وتفرقنا من بعده تفرقا معصوما ولا تجعل يا ربنا بيننا شقيا ولا مطرودا رب اغفر لنا ولوالدينا ولأساتذتنا ولإخواننا المسلمين والمسلمات الأحياء منهم والأموات اللهم انصر إخواننا المسلمين في فلسطين وثبت الأرض تحت أقدامهم سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين آمين. Thank you. Assalamu alaikum.
Thank you very much, Dr. Mohamad Farooq Abdullah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and salam sejahtera kepada semua hadirin sekalian. Mencari timba si anak dara di bawah sarang burung tempua. Salam pembuka bicara. Selamat datang untuk semua. Yang berusaha Profesor Dato Yusniza Kemur Zaman, Dean of the Faculty of Business and Economics. Yang berbahagia Datin Seri Profesor Suhaiza Hanim binti Dato Mohamad Zailani, Profesor at Department of Distance Science, Faculty of Business and Economics. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Dr. God Jasmine, former UM Vice Chancellor. Yang berusaha Profesor Dr. Prem Kumar Rajakumar, President of Malaysia University of Science and Technology, and also the President of ISCEA, International Supply Chain Education Alliance, dan yang berusaha Profesor Dr. Zainal Abidin Arifin from Academy of Science Malaysia. Selamat datang ke Majlis Syarahan Perdana Datin Seri Profesor Suhaiza Hanim, Dato Mohamad Zailani pada hari yang berbahagia ini. Izinkan saya untuk bertutur dalam bahasa Inggeris untuk menghargai para hadirin dari luar negara. Distinguished professors, doctors, ladies and gentlemen, who are joining us in this event today, hosted by the Faculty of Business and Economics. Inaugural lecture is one of the University Malaya cherished traditions. This lecture honors the professional journeys to share their inspirations, motivations, and philosophies. Today, Datin Sri Profesor Suhaiza Hanim will share her journey entitled Shifting from Green to Sustainable to Circular in Supply Chains, Evolving Practices for a Regenerative Economy. Without further ado, I would like to invite the Dean of the Faculty of Business and Economics, Professor Yusniza Kamarul Zaman to chair the lecture and subsequently to introduce Professor Suhaiza Hanim. Thank you very much.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. A very good morning to everyone. Welcome to the Faculty of Business and Economics, University of Malaya. Welcome to University of Malaya. I am Yusniza Kamarul Zaman, the Dean of the Faculty of Business and Economics. Allow me to begin with an introduction, an extensive biography of Datin Sri Professor Dr. Suhaiza Hanim Dato Mohamad Zailani. Datin Sri Professor Dr. Suhaiza Hanim Dato Mohamad Zailani is a professor of supply chain management at the Faculty of Business and Economics, University Malaya. She was born on 15th September 1970 in Taiping, Perak, and she is the fifth of 6 siblings to Dato Haji Mohamad Zailani bin Haji Jamali and Almarhumah Datin Hajah Cik Jam binti Muhammad Sain. She completed her early education at Tricher Methodist Girls' School, TMGS Taiping, attending from Standard 1 until Form 5. After her SPM, she joined University Putra Malaysia, UPM, to pursue a diploma in agribusiness. Within a year, her outstanding results have put her into a promotion to the bachelor's degree program, allowing her to specialize in operations management. Before getting involved in academia, Dr. Suhaiza gained practical experience in the corporate sector as a bank trainee. After a few months in the corporate sector, she was awarded a SLAI scholarship from University Science Malaysia, USM, in 1993. She was a tutor for a year before she continued for her master's degree in operational research at the School of Management in Lancaster University, United Kingdom. After completing her master's degree, she immediately pursued a PhD in the same department under the guidance of same supervisor, Graham Wren, a renowned professor in management science. Despite the challenges of conducting high-level research in a demanding academic environment at Lancaster University, she completed her PhD in management science in less than 3 years. She was awarded the Award of Excellence by the department in 1998. After returning to Malaysia in 1998, she rejoined the School of Management USM as a lecturer. She was immediately assigned as the main supervisor for a PhD candidate who was a senior manager of supply chain at Intel at that time. Working closely with this student sparked her interest in going even deeper into the complexities of supply chain dynamics as she learned from the student extensive industry experience. Since then, her dedication to teaching has been complemented by her ongoing research and supervision in the area of supply chain. She was promoted to a senior lecturer in 2002 and associate professor in 2006. In 2013, she took on a new challenge by joining University Malaya UM after deciding to relocate to Kuala Lumpur for her professorship. Although she received offers from other universities for her professorship, she finally accepted the offer from UM, marking a significant chapter in her academic career at 42 as a full professor at UM. This milestone was so memorable to her as the Vice-Chancellor of UM chaired the interview committee in those days was not other than Tan Sri Gauth Jasmond, a respected leader whom she deeply admired and regarded as a mentor. Tan Sri. Dr. Suhaiza's leadership capabilities quickly became evident as University Malaya UM when she was appointed as the head of unit and Deputy Dean of Postgraduate Studies at the Business and Accountancy Faculty within a year. Holding these key roles, she made a significant impact by redefining the academic and research direction of the faculty, ensuring that programs remain at the forefront of innovation and closely aligned with the industry's evolving needs. Her ability to attract numerous industry professionals to the events she organized caught the attention of UM's top management, who recognized this as a notable achievement. Recognizing her strategic vision and ability to drive progress, the Vice-Chancellor Tan Sri Amin saw in her the potential to take on even more significant challenges. Impressed by her leadership, he offered her the director of the University of Malaya Entrepreneurship Center UMAC role in 2014. This new opportunity allowed her to extend her influence beyond the faculty, leveraging her expertise to build a dynamic entrepreneurial system at UM where students and aspiring entrepreneurs could gain practical skills and support for her ventures. Under her leadership, one student won the National Entrepreneurial Award in 2015, and the AACSB named UMAC one of the top 20 entrepreneurship centers globally in 2016. In 2022, she reached another significant milestone in her career when she was appointed as the director of the Unku Aziz Center, UAC, a center for poverty and development studies. Among her achievements were being awarded grants as principal investigator on the multidimensional poverty index by UNDP and developing a national poverty policy framework for the Ministry of Economics Action Plan. These achievements brought her full circle to her deep-seated passion for socio-economics development and community empowerment using her skills in the supply chain. Her ability to secure and lead substantial national level grants, including the recent one, Ringgit Malaysia, 1.25 million grant for developing Malaysia's circular economy framework, features her expertise and leadership. Besides the research, Datin Sri Professor Dr. Suhaiza has also been recognized for her significant academic contributions and has received multiple prestigious awards. In 2017, she was awarded the Distinguished Researcher at University Malaya, recognizing her outstanding contributions to the university's research community. Since the inception of the top 2% of scientists worldwide by Stanford University in 2020, her name has been constantly in the list until this year, evidence her global influence and the high citation impact of her research. She also received the Editorial Choice Award 2024 by Elsevier Emerald Literary Awards for Outstanding Paper in 2016 and 2019, and Highly Commendable Paper Certificate by Emerald Group Publishing Limited in 2016. In 2022, she was honored a Fellow of Academy of Sciences Malaysia, ASM, which recognized her expertise and impact in her field. Following this, ASM recently awarded her a Top Research Scientist Malaysia, TRSM, award, highlighting her leadership and research excellence. She also received an award from Kementerian Pendidikan Tinggi, MOHI, for the Malaysia Scopus Research Excellence Award, Societal Impact 2024. In addition to her academic career, her marriage to Dato Sri Darwis Abdul Razak has enriched her personal life. Together, they have 6 children, 3 girls and 3 boys, who successfully pursue their academic path. The eldest are twin daughters who have recently completed their medical degrees, MBBS and MD, and are awaiting the start of their housemanship, preparing for their journey in the medical field. The third child, a daughter currently an auditor at one of the Big 4 auditing firms, aspires to follow her mother's footsteps by pursuing a career in academia. She has been awarded a prestigious scholarship to undertake her master's and PhD in accounting and finance at Lancaster University, UK, the same university where her mother received her doctoral degree, making it a meaningful continuation of their shared academic legacy. The fourth is a son who is pursuing mechanical engineering in Germany. The fifth, another son, is completing his International Baccalaureate, IB, at College Mara Banting and is preparing to further his study in actuarial science in the US. Finally, the youngest, a son, is now sitting for his SPM at MCKK. Balancing a large family with an intensive professional career is difficult, but she has demonstrated significant resilience and commitment in managing both responsibilities. Her family's steady support, particularly during the busy years of research and teaching, has been a valuable source of her strength. So, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, let's invite yang berbahagia Tan Sri Profesor Dr. Suhaiza Hanim Dato Mohamad Zailani, a Professor of Supply Chain Management, to deliver her lecture.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Apologize for the voice because I just came back from Umrah. Until now, my cough I'm still having the cough. Yeah. Okay, yang berbahagia, yang berusaha, Profesor Dr. Suhaiza Kamrul Zaman, Dean to the Faculty. Yang berbahagia Tan Sri Gaul Jasmine, our beloved former Vice Chancellor. Yang berusaha, Profesor Dr. Prem Kumar Jogopal, a President of Malaysia University of Science and Technology, as well the President of the International Supply Chain Education Alliance. Yang berusaha, Profesor Dr. Zainal Arifin Ahmad, my ex-colleague from USM, as well now he is the committee in the Academy of Sciences Malaysia ASM. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and a very good morning. Yes, it is me. On the left, there's a picture. I took it right after I graduated from my PhD. It was in 1998 from Lancaster University. And on the right, it is me now. I'm not sure whether you recognize the difference between the two photos. Yeah, the face still look the same. Yeah, one thing that I lost my hood, the pink color is not anymore there. So I have to get it one new, yeah. Okay, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah, Alhamdulillah. I praise Allah for the blessings He has granted me throughout my journey from the beginning of my life to where I am today. Distinguished guests, respected colleagues, students. It's not moving. Students and friends, it is an honor and a privilege to deliver my inaugural lecture today. Why is it not moving? Belum. Tak, I nak scroll down the punya tu. Sorry for the hiccups. Okay, this moment represents a significant milestone in my journey, in my academic journey, from the support and encouragement that I have received from many of you. I see so many faces that are very, very close to me now in this room, and I wish I could acknowledge each of you individually, as this lecture would not have been possible without the support and encouragement of many individuals. First, I am deeply grateful to Puan Nur Azian and her dedicated team from the Faculty of Business and Economics, as well to Puan Suhaila Saleh and the team from Ungu Aziz Center for their assistance in making sure that this inaugural is in reality. Someone can help me with this? Where is the mouse? Scroll, I cannot scroll down here. I will.
Pakai ni lah bro. Sini lah.
I nak turun ke bawah.
Nak turun eh.
No, it's not bawah. That's not.
Okay. Okay, tak nampak. Tak boleh lah. Touchscreen tak boleh. Tak boleh. Tu.
Okay. Again, the technology, something that we cannot rely 100%. Okay, my sincere thanks also go to the Dr. Raldi, the MC of the inaugural today, who has added a special touch to the event. Before I start, a special appreciation goes to Tan Sri Gaus Jasmine, our respected former Vice Chancellor. Thank you, Tan Sri, for your presence today. It truly means a lot to me. I still remember that you checked my interview station in 2012, that you were asking a question, Suhaiza, how much grants that you can bring into UM? And I did not have the answer at that time. I was smiling, but now, proudly to say to you, Prof. Tan Sri, After 12 years in my grants amounted nearly to 5 million. And it was very challenging because coming from the social science background, and it's not easy to get the grants. But inshallah, I am confident this figure will continue to grow as I strive to contribute on UM's legacy until my retirement in another 5 years' time, inshallah. Thank you, Tan Sri, for believing in me. It has been a driving force throughout my journey. I would also like to express my deepest appreciation to Professor Dr. Yusniza Kamruzaman, the Dean of the Faculty of Business Economics. Her strong support, encouragement, and faith in my work have been a constant source of strength throughout this journey. Every time I bump into her, Prof, when you want to do your inaugural? And I always keep in my mind that I need to do as soon as possible. Inshallah, today. And to my head of department, Associate Professor Dr. Suhana Mohiza Ali, thank you for your encouragement as well, for the support. And I would also to thank you to all the colleagues here, either from or beyond I know that somebody from UMT, my scholars, my collaborators, fly away from UMT Terengganu to be here today, as well my colleagues from UTA, my colleagues from UKM, I should have one from UITM Terengganu, UITM Melaka, as well UITM Kedah. And I'm so glad that these collaborators willing to come and support me in my inaugural lecture. Most importantly, I would say this strength is coming from my beloved family, my husband, Dato Sri Davis. He just landed from outstation this morning, and despite his busy schedules for the meeting, he tried his best to join my inaugural today. And to my daughters, 3 of them, they are here. Thank you so much. You guys are my pillars for my journey in the academic world. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today I am delighted to present my 27 years of work compilations in this inaugural title, Shifting from Green to Sustainable to Circular in Supply Chain, Evolving Practices for a Regenerative Economy. In this lecture, I will share my career journey and key insights from my research reflecting the transformative force of sustainable and circular practices within supply chain. And this is the outline of my presentation. I do have altogether 8 parts, but do not worry, it won't take more than 1 hour. I promise that. Yeah. Okay, what you see here, the image shows you a group of people passing boxes in the organized sequence, symbolizing the supply chain flow of goods or information. For those who are not coming from the background of operations management, you might not have clear idea what does it mean by supply chain. Yeah, each person plays a crucial role in ensuring the smooth transfer from one stage to the next stage, highlighting the collaborative nature of supply chains. According to Supply Chain Council 2004, supply chain is being defined as a network of the individuals, organizations, resources, activities, and technology involved in creating and selling a product. It encompasses of everything from the delivery of source material, from the supplier to the manufacturer, and delivery to the end user. So to be simplified, the image you can see there's a people, which we can say that they are the industry players that providing the goods or products to us every day. So we might be asking, where would be the food coming from? Yeah, it's coming from the mother who are cooking the food, but the mother are getting the supplies from the industry. So looking at the connectivity, so if the chain is broken, that shows that that supply chain might be in the disruptions aspect. So we need to have a good strategy how to mitigate the risk and disruptions. Yeah. So my journey in the supply chain actually began with the early curiosity about how systems and process connect to deliver value. So all the players in the chain actually is adding the values until it goes out to the end user. So that makes me more curious to know how actually it can be happen, what the strategies need to be done, and what kind of practices actually in making sure that the customers at the end can have the smile faces looking at getting the right product at the right quantity and quality. So as mentioned by Prof. Yusniza, how do I start my journey in the supply chain? It started when I just came back from my PhD. I was being given a huge task as the main supervisor to a student, which is not a very normal student because he's more senior than me. And he was the senior manager of supply chain in Intel at that time, Prof. Dr. Prem Kumar Rajagopa. And that's how I started to have more curiosity to know what is actual in the industry with regards to the supply chain. My PhD was in the looking at the optimization, but we don't really go for the practical cases. But when I supervising Prof. Prem, so it gave me more and more sort of like sharing session what he has been dealing with Intel in organizing or managing the supply chain. Prem, I remember the one that you shared about this nasi lemak packaging. Right? He was shared with me very simple, practical solutions to the packaging, sustainable packaging. He said Intel was having a problems in transporting the products using the normal box. When it reached to Japan, the counterparts, the products actually default because of the wet, rainy seasons. So as the manager of supply chain, he has to think of what could be the solutions to that. So one day he was sitting under the tree looking for the nasi lemak Makcik Mina in Penang, right, Prof? So he was looking at the nasi lemak packaging which have 2 layers. And he was wondering why the kuah is not leaking because of that packaging thing. So he went back to Intel, introduced that kind of solutions and make it happen. And then the counterparts in Japan happy with that kind of quality. And I always share this experience with my students. It's very practical and innovative solutions to the issue of sustainable packaging. Thank you, Prof, for that. Yeah. Okay, my passion in supply chain, as you can see here, it comes in many ways. My teaching, my supervisions, as well my research is all with regards to the supply chain. And these are the phases which have helped me a lot, which I would say we actually learn each other. I'm sharing the theory parts, the students are sharing with me the practical parts. And we have Dr. Huini, we have again Prem, we have Dr. Evan here, Dr. Fu, and these are among my PhD students. Either they graduated from USM or UM, yeah. And then surprising, like Dr. Mohamad Iramanish, his citations of age index in the Google Scholar is almost near as mine, right? So that shows how my students are now becoming more and more smarter than me. They're more publishing than me. And we have Dr. Khalilur Rahman, also listed as the 2% scientist in the world. And we have Dr. Zunira, now she's becoming as the Dean of the Graduate School of Business in one of the university, yeah? And Dr. Huini as well, the Dean. Okay, and I began to explore these real-world challenges, and I realized that supply chain management is not just about theoretical, but is deeply interlinked with the business day-to-day operations. That's why when you are in my class, I always say, comparing with marketing, comparing with accounting, comparing with finance, supply chain management is a bit different because we are talking about the real issues, we are talking about the real concepts. So when you go out there, it's really a practical things that you have learned in the class. And Dr. Premskomar's experiences highlighting the importance of efficiency, cost management and risk mitigation in supply chain quickly made me to understand further what need to be further explored in the area of supply chain. And I fortunate indeed to meet with all these prominent scholars in the supply chain. I met with Prof. Vinod Singhal, Prof. Tan from USA, as well Prof. Kim from UK, which also was the supervisor to Prof. Helmi here. And when we met during one of the conference in the supply chain in Wuhan in 2003, that was before the COVID-19 in Wuhan. So until now, surprising, until now, we are still keep in touch. We are still collaborating either in research or publications. And for over more than 20 years, I have taught supply chain courses at the undergraduate and postgraduate levels, either in USM or in UM. And for those who are in my class, you know how I conducted my class. I always motivated them to highlight the importance of practical, industry-relevant knowledge in the research of supply chain management. And somehow, most of the students, they are from the industry, that I learn a lot from them. So it's a win-win solution actually between me and the students. And most of my students' work and also my own research, I have converted them to be into publications. As what you can see here, until as of 12 December 2024, in the Google Scholar, there are about 348 articles that have been published, and 188 or 49% specifically focused on the supply chain management topics. And this outcome is from the collaborations between me, my students, and my research collaborators. Thank you so much to the students, as well to all my collaborators who are here today. Yeah? And these collaborations reflected in the form of co-authors in my articles, either books or research projects, which have allowed me to engage with more leading experts from various disciplines and regions. And if we go deeper, the distribution of my publications on supply chain versus non-supply chain, as you can see there, 51% mostly would be related to the operations management. So if you go more deeper, how do I relate my publications with the topic today? 45 more focused on the green, 62 be more focused on the sustainability, and now since that we are moving to the trend of circular economy, I have published 7 articles on that. Yeah, so this is I would say the contributions to see the evolutions of supply chain from the traditional one to be in the green concept, then move to the sustainability, then now we are going to the circular supply chain. And these are the among the topics which currently or have been done by my past students that related to the topic of supply chain. And I'm exploring more and more, yeah, because why? There are lots of things that we can dig out that related to the supply chain issues. Okay, due to the next challenge in my career, I am continuously seeking opportunities to grow, innovate, and contribute to impactful projects. Recently, I have applied for the prestigious Fulbright Scholarship at the University of Nevada as part of my 2025 sabbatical project. And the project proposed was to collaborate with leading experts in comparing Malaysia's and the USA circular economy practices to leverage this cross-cultural study to drive sustainable innovation and policy development. However, yesterday, I just received the email say that my applications was not successful. Only 3 applicants that have offered the Fulbright Scholarship out of 300 applicants. So, but this is not demotivated me. I'm still go for my sabbatical this year. without the scholarship. In fact, on my own. Okay, for the second part of the lecture today, the evolution of supply chain management. So we are moving from the traditional to the more complex related topics on the supply chain. Yeah? And it has been a privilege to witness the evolution of supply chain knowledge from traditional linear models, focused on the cost reduction, to now becoming more focused on the accessibility. Yeah. And in my teaching, I always emphasize that supply chain is everywhere. So for those who not really know supply chain, now you can reflect back. What are those things surrounding you? Those are the supply chain, yeah? And I always encourage students not to overthink about it. Supply chains exist in daily life, not just in the company. And to make it applicable, I use the family structure as the analogy. Parents supply resources like food and shelter, while children consume and may eventually contribute in return. This illustrates how supply chain involve suppliers, consumers, and the flow of goods and services. And they are supposedly need to be interconnected, showing how a disruption, like a delayed meal, can impact the entire system, just as what supply chain can do if there is disruptions that can affect the whole entire supply chain. And where would be this coming from? This has been developed by the Supply Chain Council in 2005, coming from the foundation of SCOR model, which call it as Supply Chain Operations Reference Model, which what you seeing here is the interconnected of 5 main activities comprised of plan, source, make, deliver, and return. So in making sure the end consumers will get the products or the outputs, so the interconnected of these activities need to be in place, but not only at the organization itself, but it has to be connected to other partners, either your left hand side or your right hand side, to your suppliers and to your customers, right? And I would love to say that suppliers will have their own suppliers and another suppliers. We have the tier 1, tier 2, and tier 3. One spot question that I always give to my students: who would be the last end of the supplier? And I always recognize them. I'm giving them the bonus mark in the exam, who can give me the right answer. So anyone here can answer the questions. Who would be the last end of the supplier? Would be the God, right? The God actually provide us with the agriculture, mining, steel, and so on and so forth. So from that, then we try to add on the values into it, into the process of the supply chain. So if there is no God, no raw materials, therefore no process can be happen. Yeah, and because of that reason, I would love to share some of my publications highlight, which we can understand there's some hiccups or there's some shortcomings using this traditional linear production model. And from my paper, Zailani and Rajagopal, 2005, we look into the importance of integration within the supply chain, which is very important for the success of supply chain. And Vanani, Zailani, and Pujawan, 2009, we believe that we need to have integrated systems that be more agile and responsive, so that we can overcome whatever disruptions or risks in the supply chain. As business become more global and interconnected, supply chains grow more complex and vulnerable to various risks, including disruptions, operational inefficiencies, as well as the environmental concerns. And that's how we need to have more and more experts looking at the solutions for these inefficiencies of the linear supply chain. Because why? We don't want, towards the end of our chain, we dump a lot of waste at our landfill. That is what's happening now, right? Because the responsibility of taking care of the world is not only at the government's shoulder, but it has to be throughout the ecosystem, including the community or public. So to avoid the systems to be inefficient, so we need to be innovative enough to create more and more systems to be more sustainable and in security. Therefore, the sustainable production be introduced as well as the sustainable consumption. So the responsibility is not only at the shoulder of the industries as well as government, but also to the public. And as what I have addressed just now, towards the end, we don't want to see so many waste at our landfill, because why is not good to the environment as well to the people. But in reality, this is the global issues that we do create every day lots of waste. And if you compare here, the chart shows the growth in waste production across all the region with significant differences between the continents. And therefore, Malaysia is very aggressive towards the SDG to help the nation to overcome these issues. And this is a very latest evidence about what is happening to Malaysia, that we can see there's a solid waste composition study being done by SW Corp in 2022, and we have 31% the waste is coming from the food waste, right? And then if we are comparing between the household and also commercial commercial waste, we part of the systems in the household waste, which we are creating waste every day. And the attitude towards the recycling is not yet in Malaysia to be happen. Yeah. So that's how we have to educate the importance of security, that everyone should be in the loop to help the nation to avoid these issues of waste. And ladies and gentlemen, this slide emphasizes the alarming reality of resource overconsumption and the impact on the world. As you can see here, if we keep using the raw materials without trying to get the solutions how to replace our raw materials from the waste, then this is what we can see. That takes about 1.6 years to regenerate the resources we use in a year. So this is a very serious issue now. And to show more reality at the moment everywhere in the world, that we are more utilize the raw resources to meet the demand, whereas the supply is getting lesser and lesser. That creates huge impact to the supply gap. And of course, the shortage in supply chain is always happen. Then by using the security, we can utilize the waste to convert it to be as energy, to convert it to be as the new raw materials. But where would be the waste coming from? Household. And who's are the player of the household? We are the public as well, the community. And because of that reason, the transition of the green supply chain, we move to the sustainability in supply chain, and now becoming as the think tank, that we need to be more focused on the how we can make it to be in the circular economy. And these are among my publications that I have published, which have highly been cited. Right, the first one been cited 1,112 citations on the green supply chain initiatives among certified companies in Malaysia, and environmental sustainability investigating the outcomes. And the second paper, which have the second highest citations on the topic of sustainable supply chain management SSCM in Malaysia, a survey. And the third one is on the supply chain drivers that foster the development of green initiatives in an emerging economy. So what I do see here, there's a trend that these kind of topics are becoming as the hot topic in the literature review. So therefore, my papers are easy to get cited, right? And those students who are doing PhD, to get high citations, make sure that your topic is related to the current issues that people are looking at, yeah? That's my advice. And the fourth one is on the green innovation adoption in the automotive supply chain, the Malaysia case. The fifth one, a study on the impact of environmental management system towards firm performance in Malaysia. And the next one is on the impact of external institutional drivers and internal strategy on environmental performance. And these are the publications which I publish with together my students. And then the questions here, so what next? Now from the traditional supply chain concepts, we need to move to the green, we need to move to the sustainable, as well we need to move to the circular shapes. And building on my extensive empirical studies, then I start to realize that we need to be more practical, we need to be more collaborated with industries as well the government agencies to look into what are the solutions to the issue. Yeah? And this is something that which is very interesting. We started with green economy. Malaysia started with green economy. It was in 2005. We do have green financing. We do have green banking. We do have green procurement. Those are related to green, but at the individual levels, practices. Then we believe it is not yet something that can help the nation. So we move towards the sustainable development, which been proposed or been established in 2015. Then we are more looking at the SDG 12 on the sustainable consumption and production. But again, still not holistic. So we now moving towards the circular economy. And the initiatives that been done by the government, if you look to here, is a lot. Yeah. So this the roadmap highlights the Malaysians' journey in implementing the initiatives towards the achieving the sustainability. So we started with the green policies such as National Green Technology Policy in 2009 and the National Renewable Energy Policy in 2010. So that's the foundation one. And later we are moving to the circular economy, plastic roadmap, and we have more and more and more. Yeah, so that we can achieve the vision towards shared prosperity vision in 2030. So this showing the progress in Malaysia comparing with other Asian countries, and we are well progressed in terms of making significant establishing frameworks towards the sustainability. And therefore, the green supply chain emergence is a response to rising environmental concerns and the growing need for business to address their environmental impacts. Yeah? And by adopting sustainable approaches, companies can enhance their image, can attract more investors, can make it the customers more loyal to their businesses. So the impact positively that we can see from the green practices of the operations. And these are the publication highlights related to the topic on the supply chain, green supply chain, as well on the sustainable supply chain that we have published, that I have published together with my collaborators as well as my students. So to define sustainable supply chain is to minimize the negative environmental impacts and try to incorporate the social and economic dimensions together with the environmental. So as you can see the word there, community involvement. So it is not only the responsibility of the industries, but also the community can be part of the system. But how much our community is aware, they are also responsible in making sure that our nations, our supply chain can be sustained towards the sustainable supply chain. And these among the research or studies that we have done to show the importance of getting through what the impacts by doing all these green and sustainable practices in achieving the sustainability. And the recent one, we managed to publish 2 books together with my collaborators as well on the sustainable supply chain management, concepts and issues in today's businesses. And I also, as the editor to a book on the topic of the solid waste landfill management. The solid waste one is pretty much important because it's really talking about the issues in the industry. And as I said, yeah, it is all about the behavior of the community, even every one of us here. So therefore, the behavioral insight is very important to make we change towards the new directions that we are going, achieving the sustainability agenda towards the nation aspirations. So what I have been given opportunity, I've been invited to give a talk on these can behavioral insights develop more X factor employee for business sustainability. Yeah. So not only for the employee, but again, we have to talk about this X factor to all the communities towards the sustainability. And moving along, the next part will be on the circular economy, circular supply chain for the future of regenerative business. And this will be the substance of the inaugural lecture today. Yeah? First of all, some confusion because there are terms on the circular economy. There is a terms on the circular supply chain. For those who are not in the area might be confused how these two are different. Yeah? So, but we have to go deeper first on the definitions of circular economy. And every countries, every authors, every scholars, they will have their own definitions of the circular economy. But Malaysia, we always adapted those the established definitions. Therefore, Kementerian Ekonomi is interested to have our own definitions of the circular economy. And to look deeper, what's the difference between circular economy and circular supply chain? So for those who are not aware, is quite related, but they are not the same. For circular economy is more on the macro level framework, aiming to transform the entire economic system into sustainable and regenerative. Whereas for the circular supply chain is a micro level strategy within the circular economy that optimize the flow of resources and products throughout the supply chain. So we will start from here, yeah? The circular supply chain. And looking at the traditional way that we have the linear shape of supply chain, and we do have the circular shape of supply chain. So the traditional one is a bit straightforward from the suppliers to the customers. At the end, the customers are not doing anything, just dump the waste into the basket and it goes to the landfill. But we are realizing that the waste is a profit in which it can be converted into the energy. It can be converted or it can be recycled to become as a new raw materials. Therefore, the circular shape is now as the agenda of many countries to save the country from the depleting the raw materials, having the issues of the depletion in the raw materials. So what does it mean by circular economy? The diagram here, so it can be a bit more towards the sustainable approach. And if we compare just now, the definitions, the circular supply chains are designed to keep product, components, and materials in use for as long as possible, minimizing waste and maximizing the value delivered from each product. This has been taken from the World Economic Forum, and what's the outcome of it? Can reduce the environmental impact, can introduce new opportunities for innovation in product design, reduce costs as well to have growth and also be more competitive. And these are my publications that shows a significant evidence on the importance of the circular economy. And Shahruddin, Zailani, Tan, Cross, and Hotra Wasawa, 2023, we have proven that there's a connection between the closed loop supply chain and the circular economy. So the other names of the circular supply chain is a closed loop, is a round shape, the circular one, yeah? So we call it as closed loop supply chain as well. So each stakeholder has a role to play in creating and enabling environment for mainstreaming the circular economy. As you can see here, no one of us should be ignored on the importance of circular economy. Users, we are the users, yeah. And in my report, which I have written for MPC, I have clearly stated the importance of community besides other stakeholders, that which can create the values from the waste to generate income. Yeah, that's what we are looking at now. Yeah, and then as I said, I've been given an opportunity by MPC to conduct one research, and I've actually submitted a report to them, the Circular Economy Malaysia approach, indicators, tools and checklists for sustainable development. And because of that report, I've been always invited to have the short courses, to have the discussions, to have the forums on the topic that related to the circular economy. And happened to be the ex-director of MPC has come up with the write-up in the newspaper that took from my research related to the circular economy. And time to time, I've been asked to deliver lots of webinars, talks that related to the circular economy in Malaysia, more on the industry evidence. In addition to the being a speakers, being lectures to talk about circular economy, I have been invited to visit University of Bradford for 2 weeks, been sponsored, fully sponsored by them, to have a serious discussion with the Professor Sankar Sivaraja, the Dean of the School of Management, Bradford University. He's one of the prominent professors in UK that deal with the circular economy. And because of that, we managed to get one project under the Academy of Medical Sciences Global Challenges Research Fund Grant Scheme. The project just completed recently. And recently, as we mentioned, that I've been awarded with 1.25 million grants from Ministry of Economy to help the government in setting up the national framework of circular economy. And as the topic itself is a multidisciplinary, transdisciplinary, so most of my members, they are coming from the engineering faculty. That's your colleagues. And I do, it's a privilege to have 2 advisors from the industry. One is Tan Sri Sulaiman Mahbub, and the other one is Dato Sri Mustafa Mohamad. They are in our team as the advisors, industry advisors. And we have also the experts from UCSI, as from the UKM. And Dr. Arialdi, the MC today, is one of the team members. And we will be flying to Japan this Sunday because we are doing on the benchmarking on the best practice of the circular economy. So what is the objective of this research? We've been given it in last year in August. Now we are at the interim level. So we need to build up this framework and identify what are the best strategies for the 8 sectors, such as biomass, energy, agriculture, E&E, and so on and so forth. Yeah. And as we know, Malaysia time to time have published numbers of roadmaps, but specifically to the industry. As what we can see here, one we have for plastic, the other one we have for biomass, we also have for the solid waste, we also have for the plastic. So means to say that we are still lacking in having one integrated framework on how we can go for the CE. Because the current situation we have in silo. Every agencies will have their own roadmap or blueprint of the circular economy, which could be the handicap of Malaysia in achieving the circular economy in 2030. Right? So therefore, we have been given this privilege to undertake the research to compare what can be learned from the worldwide experience, right? So as we can see here, these are among the countries that which have developed a very good circular economy models that which we can adapt or adopt, like Greece, Japan, Germany, as well the Europa. So we have done our literature review and we identified these are the 10 countries which have possibility for us to go deeper to look into their best practices for the circular economy. And to go for that, we have done our literature review, but definitely we need to go to the ground to verify, to validate whether these are truly there or not. So what we have done the score analysis, looking at the weightage, the country policy and legislation, looking at the program effectiveness, looking at the technological innovation, the impact, economic contributions, global leadership, as well the similarities with Malaysia. And we have discovered among the 10 countries that we have identified, there are only 6 that achieve high score. Germany, Finland, Japan, Singapore, Netherlands, as well China. But because of the limited budget, we cannot go to all these 6 countries. So we have to choose the best 4. Since like Finland, Netherlands, and Germany, they are from the Europe nations, so we only decided to go to Germany. So there's another group also will be flying to Germany on Sunday. Myself with Dr. Eddie will be going to Japan. Another group to China and Singapore, they already did that, yeah. Okay, in addition to the research opportunities, I also been given another task as the editor to a journal that look into on the importance of digital technology for circular economy towards sustainable development. And this journal is a ISI journal. For students who have the idea on the topic related to this special issue, please come forward and submit your paper to me, inshallah. So the next part will be the practical challenges and opportunities involving supply chain. So I'll just cut it short here, right? So these are the challenges and these are the opportunities that we can look into. And definitely, we need to have the policies, regulations. Without the policies, without the regulations, people are nowhere. Not only to talk about communities, but as well to the industries, because it's not been as compulsory for them to go and adapt the concept of the security in supply chain. So in fact, we have proven in our article, Chen, Abdul Hamid, and Zailani 2024, that the government regulations is very important in enhancing the intention to adopt the IT part in the CE context. And in addition to that, Rajab Zailani 2022, we also have explored the importance of technology towards the implementation of the circular economy. And definitely, the investment need to be done, yeah? And these are among the research that I have done with MPC. I've been given another task to do survey, to do research on 3 different topics. One on the green logistics, on the reverse logistics, on the supply chain analytics, and they have been submitted to MPC to be used as the part of the blueprint in the nexus of MPC. And then, as I said, the behavior of the people, the behavior of the public, the end users, so we need to educate them, because this is also part of the challenge how we can achieve the circular economy. And it has been published in the article of Wan, Abdul, Zailani, Sharuddin, and Rahman in 2024, the challenges talking about the behavior for the sustainable consumption. And therefore, we need to educate. Education part is very important. So all the experts here, wherever you are, in UM, UKM, UITM, Utah, everywhere. So we have a huge responsibility to educate the students the importance of how we can shape the future of supply chain. And of course, we need to have lots of modules, the latest modules, latest syllabus, yeah, I think Prof use, yeah, we need to look into so that it can be more relevant to the industry needs, yeah. And surprising, there are lots of opportunities being given to me to share the industry's experience with the students, like here in UITM and here at the UTP, because the students wanted to know more about the circular economy. And this just to show my participations at the national level and also international level to give a talks on the circular economy. And recently, I also have the opportunity to collaborate with John Moss University to educate our students to look into the skill required for the sustainable smart logistics and do the comparison between UK and Malaysia. But again, is normal to get the disappointment kind of results. And this project also has been unsuccessful. And we also look into the sustainable entrepreneurship development strategy among the Islamic schools, yeah, in Malaysia. So the path forward, shaping a generative economy through circular in supply chain. So supply chains must embrace the innovation, collaboration, and transparency to achieve the goals of a regenerative economy. And I proudly to say that being a director to the Center of Unku Aziz, so we are now taking a step forward, not only to look into the publications for the poverty eradications, but we also go to the ground to educate the communities how they can elevate, how they can eradicate the poverty. So being a scholars in the area of supply chain, I take it as my opportunity to leverage my skills to the community development, right? For those who are not aware about the center was one time is under the Faculty of Economics, but now it's been moved out under the portfolio of the NCPI. So I just been renewed another year as the director to the center. And because of that, time to time I've been asked to deliver a topic that related to the community empowerment regarding to the sustainability. And my article on the promoting a community-based circular economy just recently been published, and I love to continue more and more on this, in which we have applied a research grants from United Nations. This one we are not yet received the result. So hoping, please pray for me as well to get the grant. On the topic of Felda as a rural economic powerhouse, advancing circular economy for sustainable rural development in Malaysia, which the proposal aims to transform Felda communities through circular economy practices, focusing on waste reduction, resource efficiency, and sustainable agricultural development, which can achieve for SDG 1, SDG 8, as well as SDG 10. So, reflecting on the journey and future directions of my career, since I have another 5 years more to go before my retirement, I'm still passionate in the area of supply chain, and definitely, even though I'm now busy with my task as the director of the center, but the responsibilities in supervising students keep increasing every day. Alhamdulillah, thank you so much for the students. Up to now, I do have lots of students that even though they have done their masters in UKM, they have done their masters in UPM, but they came to me to do their PhD under my supervision. Thank you so much. Last but not least, for my inaugural lecture today, I would love to quote the words of wisdom from the Professor Unku Aziz. I have translated that to be in English, but it doesn't sound so good. So I want to keep it in Malay. So rajin bercakap, rajin bekerja, bagus. Rajin bekerja, malas bercakap, kena bully. Malas bekerja, rajin bercakap, wayang Cina. So guys, if you don't really understand BM, go and do the translation. Yeah? Malas bekerja, malas bercakap, tak guna. Malas bekerja, selalu ponteng, baik berhenti. Malas bekerja, selalu menyibuk, baik mati. So, I think by that we can see which one is ours. Yeah. So, time to rise to sekolah. Thank you so much. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you.
Thank you very much to Datin Sri Professor Dr. Suhaiza Hanim for the lecture. Very inspiring and very detailed and interesting slides. I hope you can enjoy the slide. Okay. So next, I would like to invite again our Dean, Professor Yusniza, to conclude the lecture today. Boleh, Prof? Please welcome, Prof.
Okay, congratulations, Prof. Yeah, we have learned so much from your lecture. To all the attendees today, thank you so much again for spending time with us. We are very proud of our professor, Professor Datin Sri Suhaiza, and we hope that we could share more in future with the community as well as the partners from the industries and public and private. Yeah. So I think that's the end of the session today, and we would like to invite everyone to. Yeah. All right. Okay. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Prof. Yusniza. Okay. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, before we end, I would like to invite the Datin Sri Professor Suhaiza Hanim to give a souvenir to our Dean, Professor Yusniza, as a appreciation for today's event. Please welcome. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, thank you, Prof. This concludes our event today. So to celebrate today's event, photography session will be held after the session. Okay, so refreshment also will be provided at the end of this event. Okay, thank you very much for your attention, patience, and also your cooperation during this event. So for the photography session, we have 3 stages. Okay. Okay. First, okay, I would like to invite the Datin Sri family members to come on stage for the photography sessions. First. Photographer. Huh? Okay. Smile. Okay, thank you so much, Datin Sri family members. For second stage, I would like to invite our Dean, Professor Yusniza, and also all the guest VIPs to come on stage for the photography sessions. Please welcome. Okay, please welcome all the VIPs. Tan Sri Goth, Jasmine, Prof. Prem Kumar, Professor Zailani, and the rest of the VIPs. Please welcome. Smile. Okay, thank you so much. Next, I would invite all the colleagues, especially decision science departments, to come on stage with our Dean, Professor Yusniza.
Mai kawan kita ini kan tak apa. Jom. Supaya I letak odd. Kita keputusan pula ni.
Ni macam kita pula yang bercakap ni.
Thank you so much for your photography session.
Thank you so much.
Finally, I would like to invite all the students and friends of Datin Sri to come on stage. Please welcome. Okay, smile. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your participation. And last, for the USC staff, Unquality Center staff, please come on stage.
Kau yang paling pink ni.
ini kan.
Okay, smile. Okay, thank you so much. Okay. Any more else? No? Dah. Okay. Thank you so much for your attention. So we end our session today. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.